Hey guys, AbsolutelyLooney, aka Looney, bringing us a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about the difference in skills between an average survival player and an average grief player. So let's get right into it. So, in my opinion, and this is obviously my opinion, 100% my opinion, but in my opinion, an average grief player is so much better, or at least so much more skillful than an average survival player. And so here's my reasoning into why that is. And so first of all, an average grief player has a lot more knowledge than an average survival player. And I'm not talking about like how smart that person is or whatever. More like how much more the person knows about the game than the other person. Like for example, a regular survival player is not gonna know how to like 360 revive, or how to like crouch prone revive, or how to, you know, what's it called, how to for example, most average survival players only know like standing up revive, you got quick revive faster, that's about it. Throw a monkey, you revive. That's not really like that's not really like skill for anything. But as opposed to like an average grief player, like they know how to like at least crouch when you're reviving, and they don't have the knuckles, and if they do, you crouch prone so that you don't get stomped. And if you have a horde behind you, you spin revive, or if like another person isn't very skillful at knifing or punching, you like spin around them so that they can't punch you and stuff like that, right? Like that's average for a grief player compared to like average for survival player. Like that, it just never happens, right? Like most survival players don't know that kind of things, because most of the time they don't really need to know how to spin revive with a horde of zombies behind them. And that's that's that. Also, another thing is an average, or well, I'm not gonna say average because that sounds mean, but like a regular grief player, knows things that like you would imagine like being hacks or something. For example, shit, I can't even think of it. For example, like insta buying stuff, right? Like, and like a regular zombie player would never know how to, or like unless they like researched it, or a friend told them, they would never know how to like insta buy like a perk or stuff like that, And it's like the little things. With what about how you mean by more skillful? A lot more knowledge of the game, grief players, as opposed to the regular survival players that just like grab a gun, shoot zombies, beat the rounds and stuff like that. Get your perks, pack a punch, and that's sort of like the main mentality. Of course, it goes with like more advanced players in both spectrums. For example, like a more advanced player in survival, yeah, they might know how to what's it called? They might know how to run like a tight training and stuff like that. It might even like know how to spin revive, but they might not know how to like spin revive with a full horde of zombies and no juggernaut or quick, right? While like an advanced grief player, they're obviously gonna know how to do that. Or going back to the like knowledge, like most grief players know about the YY knife, when you have like no ammo on your weapon, and you have two weapons and stuff like that, just so you can knife faster. And like most I guess advanced zombie players or survival players, they don't know those kind of things, right? And that's just what I mean. Like there's such a huge I guess I wouldn't say huge, but there's just like a big difference in skill and knowledge about the game between survival and grief players, that it's almost like weird. For example, or it's almost like grief players, the game is too easy for them, so they go and try like a harder challenge, which comes in like the form of grief. While survival players, they're just doing what they do. And yeah, that's like my mindset. For example, this person who I play with a lot, his name is like CG Legend. I just call him Legend. But anyways, so him and I were both grief players, right? And we're both, I guess, average, if not a little bit higher than average, right? I guess, yeah, we're a little bit above average grief players. And so, like one day we were just like let's I'm bored, I'm tired of playing Grief, you want to play some survival? And we went to survival town, and we get to round 48, that like end of 48, and he ended up disconnecting when we had the last zombie. So it's just like for most people that's kind of hard, like two player 48, or I guess 49 in that case, two player 49, like a lot of people don't achieve that, and we, like, for us it was just like a walk in the park, like we barely even tried. Or or the first time we tried Mob of the Dead again with CG Legend, the first time we tried it we got to 46, and we suicided because he started getting like a connection interrupted, which is like going back to what I mean, like for Grief players survival is almost too easy, and so they go to Grief while like regular survival players, they just, they're kind of just like players, kind of like, I don't know if this sounds offensive or anything, but in my mind, like a Grief player is like a song, like a really good Grief player. I mean, a really good survival player that got bored of survival, so they went to Grief. At least that's why I started playing Grief. And yeah, it's just that's my opinion about the subject, kind of, and what I have to talk about it, because like a lot of people get mad at me when I tell, well, like if, for example, if I go to like a random survival match and I'm like 360 reviving and stuff like that, and then like somebody goes down and I can't get him, and then that other person who's like playing with me, like who's also up, can't get the person who's down, and like I get mad at them because they can't spin revive, or like I like give them shit for that and stuff like that. So just those kind of things that like the little things, like for example, if they can run like a really tight train, or if they don't know how to combine trains, or stuff like that, it frustrates me, because to me that's like common knowledge, because I play with griefers, and to them that's common knowledge, but to them it's like, well, I don't do this on an average game and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just that's it's like my thought process, and there's nothing wrong with being like a regular survival player. Of course there's like incredibly good survival players that could go into Grief and wreck shit, like for example like D Frenzy. I mean, he wasn't the best Grief player, but he also wasn't the worst Grief player. He won a couple of tourneys, I believe, or at least got like good wins against really good Griefers. I can't remember correctly, but anyways, and just like I said, it's the little things that matter. Like some people don't know how to like run trains in the bottom bar, or not in the bottom bar, in like double tap area. I guess in double tap bottom bar also. Or a lot of people don't know how to like train, or don't like to train on top of Jug, or they don't like to train with without Jug. And that's another thing, like Grief players are sort of used to playing without Jug, as opposed to regular survival players that like a lot of them really need Jug. And like I hear a lot of people in when I go to survival public matches that say it's like, oh yeah, I go down, but when I get Jug I like never go down, and after that, right? And sometimes it is true, sometimes it isn't. With Grief players, a lot of Grief players are used to playing with no Jug, especially if they were in the time where hardcore farm or no magic farm was like a big thing, when no magic farm was like the thing. Now it's town, but a lot of people got used to no Jug with those kind of Grief games. And also, like, if you're playing customs Grief and you get like a bullshit down, or even if you get Grief, then you have to work back up to your Jug and stuff like that, and then you have like people griefing you without Jug, and then you sort of get accustomed to playing without Jug, and just things like that. So yeah, it's sort of what I mean when like Grief players are like better than survival players. Like, you wouldn't see, or more than likely you wouldn't see a survival player playing like up to round like 20 or like 15 or 16 or something like that without Jug, or even with like or even in like if you're playing like a public match, and like most people don't even get or most average, like, or I guess in this case it's most people don't get their Jug after getting Knuckles, and some people get double tap before Jug. Like for example, I do that. I always get double tap first, then my Gabba Knuckles, and then Jug when I'm playing grief public matches. And that's most time, not all the time. If I'm playing against scrubs, then like that's overkill. But but yeah, like for other people, it's like bossy if you grab like double tap first and stuff like that. Um, I remember I tried the strategy that CG Legend and I used for down with the co-op. I tried it with two more people, right? That were random, and CG Legend wasn't even playing with me, and so like like I was like, we're not gonna open jug. It was a strategy when you go to it's like the strategy that everybody uses. You stand by the window in bottom jug, and you use your M14, you get your Mustangs and stuff like that. And then people were like giving me shit because it's like, oh, what, I'm not gonna get jug, I'm gonna get Mustangs first and then double tap. And like, to me it seems something so like obvious, and it's like, yeah, whatever, like you're not gonna have jug until around like 15 or 20. I mean, like, yeah, 15 or 20. But to them it's like, no, it's just not a thing. Like, I want to get jug as soon as possible. And it's just, I guess, my like a different mindset. They're not used to the things that grief players are used to. And so because of that, just sort of, I guess, have like different skill levels, or like I said, there's just like different knowledge of the game, or not as knowledgeable of the game as grief players are. And like, even like really bad grief players, they're most of the time are gonna be like better than the average survival player, because they're used to like getting like attacked and being slowed down when training, and just like bullied around. So like when they actually go and they're not, like, none of that's happening to them, they're basically like Jesus or something. They're just they can play so much better. And no, that's just like I said, that's just my opinion, my thought process. If you think the same way, or if you have different opinions, let that in the comment. If you liked or whatever, if you liked or agree or whatever with the video, just leave that a like, support, subscribe, share. That'd be awesome. Share it to your shitty friends that don't know how to play grief. And yeah, so I'll be doing more videos like this in the future of oh shit, I had a shitty down right there. Anyways, I'll be doing a lot more videos of me just talking about I guess subjects that a lot of people don't talk about, for example, like this, or just stuff like that. So if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, and yeah. So see you guys in the next time. I'll make a video about how skillful grief players are. Then I go down like a noob.